I stare at my engagement ring, twisting it around my finger as Michael hums in the kitchen. The diamond catches the afternoon light streaming through our apartment window, but all I feel is trapped. "Sarah, dinner's almost ready," Michael calls out, his voice cheerful and completely oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. "Coming!" I force brightness into my voice, but my stomach churns. This is supposed to be perfect. I'm 29, a marketing coordinator with a stable job, engaged to a man who loves me unconditionally. Michael is everything any woman should want. Kind, successful, loyal, ready for marriage and kids. My parents adore him. His parents adore me. Everyone says we're the perfect couple. So why do I feel like I'm suffocating? My phone buzzes with a text from Jessica. "Just had the most amazing night. Met this guy at the rooftop bar. You wouldn't believe what happened next." I close my eyes. Jessica's always texting me these stories about her wild adventures, her spontaneous hookups, her freedom. At 29, she's living the life I never had. "You okay, babe?" Michael appears in the doorway, concern creasing his features. "Yeah, just tired from work." The lie comes easily now. He walks over and wraps his arms around me from behind. "We should plan something fun for the weekend. Maybe look at more wedding venues?" Wedding venues. The words make my chest tight. I lean into him, breathing in his familiar cologne, but all I can think about is everything I've never experienced. I've never had a one-night stand. Never partied until dawn. Never felt truly desired by a stranger who didn't know my name or my plans for the future. "That sounds great," I whisper, but my voice sounds hollow even to me. Michael kisses my temple. "I love you, Sarah. I can't wait to marry you." My heart breaks a little because I know he means it, and I know I'm about to destroy everything. That night, lying in bed next to Michael's sleeping form, I make a decision that will change both our lives forever. I'm going to experience what I've missed, just once, just to get it out of my system before I settle down forever. I tell myself it's harmless, just a taste of the freedom I never had. I have no idea I'm about to lose everything that matters. "I'll be working late tonight," I tell Michael, kissing his cheek as he reaches for his coffee mug. "Again?" That's the third time this week. He frowns, but there's no suspicion in his eyes, just concern. "Maybe you should talk to Thompson about the workload." "It's just a busy period. You know how it is." I grab my purse, avoiding his gaze. Instead of going to work late, I meet Emma at a trendy downtown bar. Emma's my co-worker, the only one who knows about my restlessness. "I can't believe you're actually doing this," Emma says, applying lip gloss in the bar's dim lighting. "Michael seems so perfect." "That's the problem," I mutter, scanning the crowd. "Everything's too perfect, too planned, too safe." That's when I see him. David. He's leaning against the bar, camera hanging around his neck, talking to the bartender with easy confidence. When our eyes meet across the room, something electric passes between us. "Go talk to him," Emma whispers, nudging me. My heart pounds as I approach. "That's an interesting camera. Are you a photographer?" David turns, and his smile makes my knees weak. "Guilty as charged, David Martinez. And you are?" "Sarah." I don't mention my last name. Tonight, I'm just Sarah. "Let me buy you a drink, Sarah." His voice is warm, with just a hint of an accent. For the next 2 hours, we talk about everything and nothing. He tells me about his photography projects, his travels, his dreams. I find myself laughing in ways I haven't in months. When he leans close, "Sir," I don't pull away. "I should go," I finally say, checking my phone. 3 missed calls from Michael. "Can I see you again?" David's hand brushes mine. I know I should say no. Instead, I give him my number. The next morning, Michael's making breakfast when my phone buzzes. "Who's texting so early?" he asks casually. "Just Jessica," I lie, deleting David's message without reading it. But I read it later. "Can't stop thinking about last night. Coffee this afternoon?" My sister Rachel calls while I'm debating whether to respond. "You sound different," she says immediately. "Happier." "What's going on?" "Nothing special, just good day at work." Well, Whatever it is, keep it up. You haven't sounded this alive in months. If only she knew. I meet David for coffee, then lunch the next week, then dinner the week after that. Each meeting becomes more intimate, more dangerous. He makes me feel desired in ways I'd forgotten were possible. You're mysterious, Sarah, he says over wine at a quiet restaurant. I like that. I think about Michael at home, probably wondering why I've been so distant lately. Maybe I just like having secrets. Everyone should have secrets, David murmurs, his hand covering mine. That night, I meet Marcus at a different bar. He's nothing like David, rougher around the edges, more forward, but when he whispers in my ear, my body responds before my mind can catch up. I've never done anything like this before, I tell Emma the next day. Like what? You haven't actually done anything yet, she points out. But that changes the following week. Michael thinks I'm at a work conference in the next city. Instead, I'm in David's apartment, his hands in my hair, his mouth on mine. Are you sure about this? He asks, and I nod because I'm too far gone to turn back now. Afterward, lying in his bed while he sleeps, I stare at the ceiling and wonder what I've become. The guilt is overwhelming, but underneath it is something else. A rush of adrenaline, a sense of power I've never felt before. I slip out before dawn, driving home in yesterday's clothes, already planning my next lie. After David, everything changes. The guilt should have stopped me, but instead, it becomes addictive, this double life, this secret power I hold. Tyler is next. I meet him at a gallery opening, drawn to his artist's intensity and the way he looks at me like I'm a puzzle he wants to solve. You have sad eyes, he says, studying my face. Beautiful, but sad. Maybe I am sad, I admit, surprising myself with the honesty. Let me make you happy, he whispers, and I let him try. Then there's James from the gym, whose confidence matches my growing appetite for attention. Each encounter makes me feel more alive, more desired, but also more distant from the life I built with Michael. My phone rings while I'm getting dressed in James's apartment. Mom's contact photo fills the screen. Sarah, darling, I've been thinking about the wedding flowers. Have you and Michael decided on the color scheme yet? I step into the hallway, lowering my voice. We're still discussing it, Mom. Well, don't wait too long. June weddings book up fast. Oh, and your father wants to know about the guest list for his side. I half listened to her chatter about centerpieces and catering, my reflection caught in the hallway mirror. I look different, my hair mussed, my lipstick gone, my eyes bright with secrets. Sarah, are you listening? Sorry, Mom, work's been crazy. You work too hard. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And Michael, too. Michael. The name hits like a punch to the gut. At home, Michael notices immediately. You smell different. New perfume, I say quickly. Do you like it? It's different. He studies my face. Are you okay? You seem distant lately. Just stressed about work. The lies are getting easier, which terrifies me. Jessica corners me at lunch the next day. Okay, what's going on? You're glowing, but you also look guilty as hell. Nothing's going on. Bullshit. I've known you for 10 years, Sarah. You're seeing someone. That's ridiculous. I'm engaged to Michael. Exactly. Which is why you look like you're about to throw up. Jessica leans forward. Please tell me you're not doing what I think you're doing. I want to confess everything, but shame keeps my mouth shut. You're imagining things. That evening, Michael tries to reconnect. He's made dinner reservations at our favorite restaurant, bought flowers, planned a romantic evening. To us, he says, raising his wine glass, and to our future. I force a smile, but all I can think about is David's hands, Tyler's mouth, James's whispered promises. Michael talks about our wedding, our future kids, the house we'll buy. Everything sounds like a prison sentence. You're not really here with me, are you? He says quietly. What do you mean? Lately, it feels like you're somewhere else. Even when we're together, you're not. He's right, and it breaks my heart. I'm sorry. Work has been overwhelming. Maybe we should postpone the wedding, give you time to— No! The word comes out too sharp, too panicked. I mean, no, I'm fine, just tired. But I'm not fine. I'm becoming someone I don't recognize, and I can't seem to stop. Kevin, Michael's best friend, stops by unexpectedly the next evening. Hey, Mike, got a minute? I pretend to read while they talk in the kitchen, but I can hear every word. Is everything okay with you and Sarah? She seemed off at dinner last week. My blood runs cold. I don't know, man. She's been working late a lot, seems stressed. Maybe it's just wedding pressure. Maybe, but if you need to talk. Thanks, Kev. I'm sure it's nothing. That night, I'm in the bathroom deleting text messages when Michael appears in the doorway. Who are you texting at midnight? My phone slips from my hands, clattering against the tile floor. For a moment, we both stare at it, and I'm certain he'll see the evidence of my betrayal written across the screen. Just Jessica, I say, snatching it up. She's having boy drama. Michael looks at me for a long moment, and I see doubt flicker in his eyes. Sarah, if something was wrong, you'd tell me, right? Of course, I whisper, hating myself for the lie. But I'm in too deep now. The thrill of deception has its claws in me, and I don't know how to let go. I'm getting reckless, meeting men at bars closer to home, during lunch breaks when I should be at work, at the gym where Michael and I have a membership. The smart part of my brain screams warnings, but I ignore it. You're playing with fire, Sandra tells me. We met at a hotel bar downtown. She's married, having an affair with her personal trainer. Aren't we all? I take another sip of wine, feeling sophisticated and dangerous. The difference is, I've been doing this for 3 years. You're still amateur hour. Sandra lights a cigarette despite the no smoking sign. You'll get caught if you keep this up. I'm careful. Honey, there's no such thing as careful when you're cheating. There's just lucky and unlucky. At home, I'm falling apart. I've lost weight, can't sleep. Snap at Michael over the smallest things. Maybe we should go away somewhere, Michael suggests after I bite his head off for leaving dishes in the sink. A weekend trip? Just us. I can't. Too much work. Sarah, you haven't taken a vacation day in months. Thompson can't expect— Don't tell me what my boss can expect. I'm shouting now, and I don't even know why. Michael stares at me, hurt and confused. I'm just trying to help. I want to collapse into his arms and confess everything, but instead I storm out, claiming I need air. Michelle, Michael's sister, calls me the next day. Can we meet for coffee? I need advice about Mark. Michelle is sweet, trusting, everything I used to be. We sit in a cafe while she pours out her heart about her boyfriend's commitment issues. I just don't understand men sometimes, she says. Like, if you love someone, why is it so hard to be faithful? My coffee turns to ash in my mouth. Maybe people are more complicated than that. Not Michael. He's always been loyal to a fault. Even in high school, when girls threw themselves at him, he never wavered from whoever he was dating. She smiles. You're so lucky to have found someone like that. I excuse myself to throw up in the bathroom. That evening, I meet Alex at a wine bar. He's different from the others. Intense, possessive, with dark eyes that seem to see right through me. You're not like other women, he says, his hand gripping mine too tightly. What do you mean? You're hungry, desperate. I can smell it on you. His words should offend me, but instead they send a thrill down my spine. We end up in his car in a parking garage, steam fogging the windows like teenagers. Afterward, Alex won't let me leave. I need to see you again. I can't. This was just the beginning. His grip on my wrist is firm. I'll call you tomorrow. The next morning, Alex shows up at my office. Emma sees him through the glass doors and rushes over. Who is that? He's been standing there for 20 minutes. My hands shake as I gather my purse. Just someone I met. I'll handle it. Outside, Alex is leaning against a lamppost, smoking. You can't be here, I hiss. I wanted to see where you work, see what your real life looks like. He flicks his cigarette away. It's boring. Alex, this has to stop. I'm engaged. So? That didn't stop you last night. He follows me to my car, and I'm genuinely frightened for the first time. This isn't a game anymore. At home, Michael is cooking dinner and humming. The normalcy of it makes me want to scream. Good day at work? He asks, without looking up. Fine. I pour myself wine with aching hands. Sarah, I've been thinking. Maybe we should see a couples therapist. Not because we have problems, but just to make sure we're communicating well before the wedding. We don't need therapy. The word comes out sharp, panicked. It might help. You've been so stressed lately, and I feel like I'm not supporting you the way I should. He's being perfect again, which makes everything worse. I want to tell him everything, to fall to my knees and beg forgiveness, but the words stick in my throat. That night, lying next to him, I almost do it. I open my mouth to confess, but my phone buzzes on the nightstand. Unknown number. I know what you've been doing. My blood turns to ice. Michael stirs beside me but doesn't wake. With trembling fingers, I delete the message, but the damage is done. Someone knows. And my perfect life is about to crumble. My phone buzzes again at 6 a.m. Same unknown number. Coffee at Meridian Cafe. 1 hour, come alone. I slip out of bed while Michael showers, my hands shaking as I get dressed. The cafe is crowded with morning commuters, which should feel safe, but I'm terrified. Craig is nothing like I expected. Mid-40s, average build, wearing a business suit that makes him look like any other professional. He's already sitting in a corner booth when I arrive. Sarah, sit down. How do you know my name? What do you want? He slides a manila envelope across the table. Take a look. Inside are photos of me with David, Tyler, James. Clear, detailed shots that leave no room for doubt about what I've been doing. You're sick, I whisper. I'm practical. You see, I make it my business to know about women like you. Unhappy wives, unfaithful fiancés. You're all so predictable. What do you want? $5,000, cash, or these go to Michael. My vision blurs. I don't have that kind of money. You have a week to find it. Don't even think about going to the police. I have copies everywhere, and frankly, you have more to lose than I do. I stumble out of the cafe and barely make it to my car before the panic attack hits. Gasping for air, I consider driving straight to Michael and confessing everything before Craig can destroy us. But I'm a coward. At work, I can barely function. Mr. Thompson calls me into his office. Sarah, your performance has been slipping. Are you having problems at home? No, sir, just wedding stress. Maybe take some time off. You look exhausted. If only he knew. I consider calling Detective Rodriguez, whose card I kept from a workplace safety seminar. But what would I say? That I'm being blackmailed for cheating on my fiancé? They'd probably laugh. My father calls during lunch. Princess, how's my soon-to-be-married daughter? I break down crying. Dad, Sarah? What's wrong? Are you hurt? I'm fine, just overwhelmed with wedding planning. You know you can talk to me about anything, right? I may not be the most emotional guy, but I love you. I know, Dad. I love you too. But I can't tell him. I can't tell anyone. Craig's demands escalate quickly. More money. Then he wants me to meet him at a hotel. You brought this on yourself, he says over the phone. One night with me, or Michael gets a very interesting slideshow. I'm trapped in a nightmare of my own making. The freedom I thought I wanted has become a prison, and Craig holds all the keys. Jessica finds me crying in the office bathroom. Sarah, what the hell is going on? You look like death. I can't tell you. Is it Michael? Did he hurt you? No, God, no. Michael's perfect. That's the problem. You're not making sense. I've ruined everything, Jess. And now someone's going to destroy what's left. She tries to get more out of me, but I push her away. The shame is eating me alive. That night, Michael finds me staring at our wedding invitations, tears streaming down my face. Baby, what's wrong? Do you ever think we're making a mistake? What kind of mistake? Getting married? Maybe we're too young, or maybe we don't know each other well enough. Sarah, I've loved you for 4 years. I know you better than I know myself, and I know something's been eating at you for weeks. He sits beside me, taking my hands. Whatever it is, we can work through it together. I want to tell him so badly it physically hurts, but Craig's deadline is tomorrow, and I'm out of options. I need some air, I whisper. I'll come with you. No, I need to be alone. The hurt in his eyes nearly breaks me, but I leave anyway. Craig's final text comes at midnight. Hotel Grandview, room 412, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Don't disappoint me, or Michael gets his engagement present early. I sit in my car outside our apartment building, engine running, trying to find the courage to go upstairs and tell Michael the truth. Instead, I drive to the hotel and make a reservation for tomorrow. I've hit rock bottom, and I'm still digging. I call in sick and spend the morning writing a letter to Michael. Draft after draft, each one deleted, each attempt to explain the inexplicable falling short. How do you tell someone you love that you've betrayed them in the worst possible way? How do you explain that your fear of commitment led you to destroy the very thing you were afraid to commit to? Michael texts around noon. Feeling better? Bringing you soup after work. The kindness in his message breaks something inside me. He's still taking care of me while I'm planning to meet my blackmailer tonight. I can't do it. I can't go to that hotel room and let Craig use me, but I also can't let him destroy Michael with those photos. There's only one choice left. I walk through our neighborhood, memorizing details I've taken for granted. The coffee shop where Michael proposed, the park where we walk our neighbor's dog, the corner where we had our first fight and made up 5 minutes later. Everything looks different now, like I'm seeing it through glass, already gone. Sarah? I turn to see Father Martinez, the priest who's supposed to officiate our wedding next month. Father, hi. You look troubled, my child. Pre-wedding nerves? I laugh, and it sounds hollow. Something like that. Marriage is a sacred commitment. It's natural to feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of the promise you're making. What if you're not worthy of that promise? We're all sinners, Sarah. The beauty of marriage is that it's a commitment to love despite our flaws, to grow together through our mistakes. What if the mistakes are too big? What if they're unforgivable? Father Martinez studies my face. There's no sin too great for forgiveness, if the repentance is genuine. But first, there must be truth. Truth. The word follows me home. Michael is in the kitchen when I return, humming while he cooks dinner. The scene is so perfectly normal, so exactly what I'm about to destroy that I nearly run back out. Hey you, feeling better? He doesn't turn around, just continues stirring sauce on the stove. Michael, I made your favorite, that pasta with the mushroom cream sauce. Thought it might help with whatever bug you caught. Michael, stop. Something in my voice makes him turn. The wooden spoon drips sauce onto the floor, but he doesn't notice. We need to talk. Okay. His voice is careful now, cautious. What about? I lead him to the living room, to the couch where we've spent countless evenings planning our future. The engagement photos on the side table mock me. Two people so happy, so trusting, so naive about what's coming. I need to tell you something, and it's going to change everything. His face goes pale. Are you sick? Is it cancer? Sarah, whatever it is, I cheated on you. The words hang in the air like smoke. Michael goes very still. I'm sorry, what? I've been cheating on you. For months, with multiple people. He stares at me like I'm speaking a foreign language. That's not... You wouldn't... David, the photographer. Tyler from the art gallery. James from the gym. There were others. Each name hits him like a physical blow. I watch his face change, confusion to disbelief to horrifying understanding. This is a joke. This is some kind of sick joke. I wish it was. Why? The word comes out broken. Why would you do this to us? I don't know. I felt trapped, like I was missing something, like I never got to experience being young and free. So you destroyed us instead? I thought I could get it out of my system and come back to you. You thought you could use me as your safety net while you fucked other people. I've never heard Michael curse before. The venom in his voice is more devastating than screaming would have been. It wasn't like that. What was it like, Sarah? Explain to me how this was anything other than you destroying everything we built together. I'm crying now, ugly sobs that make it hard to speak. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't unfuck those other men. Sorry doesn't give me back the 4 years I wasted loving someone who didn't exist. I do exist. This is me, the real me, sitting here telling you the truth. The real you is someone who can look me in the eye every day while betraying me. The real you is someone who can plan our wedding while fucking strangers. He stands up, starts pacing. How long? 3 months. 3 months? Jesus Christ, Sarah, 3 months of lies. I wanted to tell you. When? When exactly did you want to tell me? Before or after our wedding? Before or after I found out some other way? I can't answer because he's right. I never would have told him if Craig hadn't forced my hand. I need you to leave, he says quietly. Michael, please, can't we? Leave. Now. I can't. I can't look at you right now. I pack a bag while he sits on the couch, staring at nothing. When I reach the door, I turn back. I love you. I know that doesn't mean anything now, but I do love you. If this is what your love looks like, he says without meeting my eyes, I never want to see it again. The door closes behind me with a sound like a gunshot. My phone buzzes as I sit in my car, trying to figure out where to go. Craig, looking forward to tonight. I type back, go to hell, do whatever you want. I already told him. For the first time in months, I've done the right thing. It's too late for it to matter, but at least I've done it. Aunt Linda opens her door at 11 p.m., takes one look at my face, and pulls me inside without questions. He kicked you out, she says. It's not a question. I told him. The words come out between sobs. I told him everything. Oh, honey. She wraps me in her arms, and I collapse. Linda doesn't judge, doesn't lecture. She makes tea and lets me cry until I'm empty. When I finally tell her what I've done, she just nods. We all make mistakes, Sarah. Some are just bigger than others. I destroyed him, Linda. You should have seen his face. What about your face? You're destroyed too. But I don't get to be the Vi. Tim here. I'm the one who caused this devastation. The next morning, my phone explodes. Texts from friends, missed calls from family. Word travels fast in our circle. Jessica shows up at Linda's at 7 a.m. Is it true? She demands. Did you really? Yes. She slumps into a chair. Sarah, what the fuck were you thinking? I wasn't thinking. That's the problem. Michael called Kevin crying last night. Crying, Sarah. I've never heard of Michael crying. The image guts me. How is he? How do you think he is? The woman he planned to marry has been screwing half the city behind his back. Her words are harsh but fair. I deserve them. Over the next few days, I lose friends. Couples we used to hang out with choose sides, and understandably, they choose Michael. I become persona non grata in our social circle. Kevin calls me once. I need to understand, he says. Michael is the most loyal, loving guy I know. How could you do this to him? I don't have a good answer for that. Try. I felt trapped, like I was missing out on something. So you blew up your life instead of talking to him? Instead of breaking up with him first if you weren't ready for marriage? I know. I know it was wrong. Wrong doesn't begin to cover it, Sarah. You destroyed him. He trusted you completely, and you used that trust to stab him in the back, repeatedly. After Kevin hangs up, I sit in Linda's spare room and face the magnitude of what I've done. It's not just about cheating. It's about the lies, the manipulation, the way I let Michael plan our future while I was busy destroying it. Ms. Chen, the lawyer Linda recommended, explains the financial mess I've created. The lease is in both names, but he's already given notice. The joint accounts, the wedding deposits, it's complicated when infidelity is involved. Everything has a cost. Everything requires untangling. Our Shared life was more intertwined than I realized. Michelle calls on day 5. "I'm not calling to yell at you," she says. "I'm calling because Michael asked me to pick up your things." "How is he?" "He's not sleeping, he's not eating. Mom had to come stay with him because Kevin was worried he might hurt himself." The words hit like a physical blow. "He wouldn't." "He loved you completely, Sarah. You were his whole world. Now he's questioning everything. Whether any of it was real, whether he's just a fool, whether he can ever trust anyone again." "Can you tell him?" "No, I can't tell him anything from you. He doesn't want to hear from you ever again." That night, I start seeing Dr. Patricia, a therapist who specializes in self-destructive behavior. "Why do you think you sabotaged your relationship?" she asks. "I don't know. Fear of commitment, maybe? Fear of missing out?" "Those are symptoms, not causes. What were you really afraid of?" "It takes weeks of sessions before I can articulate it. I was afraid that if I settled down with Michael, I would disappear, become just his wife, lose myself in his stable, predictable love. Instead, I lost myself in chaos and destroyed the best thing in my life." Craig never follows through on his threats. With no leverage left, he disappears as quickly as he appeared, leaving me to face the consequences of my choices without his manipulation. Driving past our old apartment 2 weeks later, I see Michael loading boxes into a moving truck. He looks thinner, older, broken in ways that will probably never fully heal. I park across the street and watch the movers carry out our life piece by piece. The couch where I confessed, the table where we planned our wedding, the bed where I lied to him every night for 3 months. When the truck pulls away, Michael stands alone on the sidewalk for a moment. Even from this distance, I can see the defeat in his posture. Then he gets in his car and drives away from everything we built together. I sit there until dark, mourning not just what I lost, but what I destroyed in him. The trust, the faith in love, the belief that people are fundamentally good. I took a man who loved unconditionally and taught him that love isn't safe. That might be the worst thing I've done. Michael blocks me on everything: phone, social media, email. I'm completely cut off from any information about his life. Jessica refuses to be my spy, and I don't blame her. "You need to focus on yourself now," she says over coffee. "Stop obsessing over what Michael's doing and figure out how to live with what you've done." But it's hard to focus when I'm falling apart. Work becomes unbearable when news of my broken engagement spreads through the office. The pitying looks, the whispered conversations that stop when I walk by. Mr. Thompson calls me in after I break down during a client presentation. "Sarah, I think you need some time off. Get your personal life sorted out." Translation: I'm a liability now. Dr. Patricia suggests a support group for people dealing with the consequences of infidelity. I resist at first. Sitting in a circle talking about my failures sounds like torture. But desperation wins out. The group meets in a church basement every Thursday. There's Maria, whose husband left her after she had an affair with his brother. There's David, not my David, another David, whose gambling addiction led him to steal from his wife. There's Jennifer, whose affair destroyed not just her marriage, but her relationship with her children. And there's Tom, whose wife cheated on him before he cheated on her in revenge, creating a cycle of destruction that ended their 15-year marriage. "The hardest part," Tom says during my first meeting, "is learning to live with being the kind of person who does this. I never thought I was capable of betrayal until I was..." His words resonate. I never thought I was capable of what I did to Michael. Dating is a nightmare. The few men who are interested either want to use my reputation for easy sex, or they run when they learn the truth about why my engagement ended. "You seem nice," says Mark, a guy I met through a dating app. "But I can't get involved with someone who cheated. Too much baggage." He's not wrong. I am too much baggage now. Tom and I become friends outside the group. Not romantic, we're both too damaged for that, but there's comfort in talking to someone who understands the weight of irreversible mistakes. "Do you regret it?" I ask him one evening as we walk through the park. "Every day, but regret doesn't change anything. The only thing that matters now is not making the same mistakes again. How do you live with yourself? Some days I don't know, but I get up anyway because the alternative is giving up completely. Through mutual friends, I learned that Michael has moved to Portland. New job, new life, complete fresh start. The news should make me happy. He's moving forward, but it feels like another death. Then Jessica tells me he's dating someone. Her name is Claire. She's a teacher. Apparently, she's normal. Normal. The word stings because I know what it means. Claire is what I used to be before I destroyed myself. Stable, trustworthy, capable of commitment. Are they serious? I don't know, and I'm not going to find out. You need to stop asking about him, Sarah. It's not healthy. She's right, but I can't help myself. I create fake social media accounts to catch glimpses of his new life. It's pathetic, but I need to know he's okay. In the photos I find, he looks happier than he did in our last months together. Lighter, like a weight has been lifted. The weight was me. Dr. Patricia helps me understand that my obsession with Michael's recovery is an other form of selfishness. You want to know he's okay so you can feel less guilty about what you did to him, she explains. But his healing isn't about you. It's about him rebuilding his ability to trust. I just want him to be happy. Then let him be happy without you monitoring his progress. Your continued surveillance is another violation of his privacy. She's right. I delete the fake accounts and stop asking mutual friends for updates. Slowly, painfully, I start building a life that isn't defined by what I destroyed. I volunteer at a women's shelter on weekends, helping other women who've made destructive choices. The work is meaningful in ways my marketing job never was. You're good at this, says Helen, the shelter director. Have you considered social work? I don't think I'm qualified to help anyone. Look at my life. Sometimes the people who've fallen the farthest can climb the highest. Your experience gives you credibility with women who've hit rock bottom. For the first time in months, I feel like I might have something valuable to offer the world. It's not redemption. I'm not sure that's possible, but it's purpose. And for now, that's enough to keep going. 6 months after my confession, I'm working at a new company across town. Janet, my cubicle neighbor, invites me for drinks after work. You're mysterious, she says over Cosmos. No wedding ring, but you have that look. What look? Like you've been through something. Good breakup or bad breakup? The worst breakup. I pause. Actually, I was the bad breakup. Janet doesn't press for details, which I appreciate. It's nice to have a friend who doesn't know my history. My cousin's wedding is next month. The invitation sits on my coffee table like an accusation. Last year, I would have been planning my own wedding. Now I'm the cautionary tale. You should go, Dr. Patricia says. During our session, hiding from weddings won't help you heal. Everyone will stare. Everyone will remember my engagement to Michael, and they'll see that you survived. That might be important for them to see. The wedding is beautiful and painful. I sit in the back, watching my cousin promise forever to someone she loves, and I remember making those same promises to Michael before I destroyed them. Sarah! My Aunt Carol corners me at the reception. We were so sorry to hear about you and Michael. What happened? We weren't right for each other, I say, the lie tasting like ash. Well, you're young. Plenty of time to find the right one. If only she knew that I had found the right one and thrown him away. Kevin appears beside me at the bar. Didn't expect to see you here. Family wedding. Couldn't really avoid it. How are you doing? Better. Therapy helps. How's Michael? Kevin studies my face. You really want to know? I need to know he's okay. He's getting there. The move to Portland was good for him. Fresh start, new job. He's seeing someone. Claire. Yeah, she's good for him. Patient. Understands he needs time to trust again. The words hurt, but I'm glad. I'm happy he found someone. Are you? Really? I destroyed him, Kevin. The least I can do is be happy that he's healing. You destroyed yourself too, you know. I hope you're working on healing that. After Kevin leaves, I sit alone at my table, watching couples dance. A year ago, I would have been dancing with Michael, planning our future. Now he's in Portland, slowly learning to love someone else. The thought should devastate me, but instead, I feel something like peace. He deserves love. He deserves someone who won't betray his trust. The volunteer work at the shelter becomes my passion. I start a support group for women who've made self-destructive choices, sharing my story as a cautionary tale. I had everything, I tell the group. A man who loved me, a stable life, a future planned out, and I threw it away because I was afraid of being ordinary. Maria, a new member, speaks up. What would you tell your younger self? That ordinary isn't the enemy. That stability isn't a prison. That love, real love, is rare and precious and not something to gamble with. After the meeting, Maria approaches me. How do you live with the guilt? Some days are harder than others, but I've learned that drowning in guilt helps no one. The only thing I can do now is try to prevent other women from making my mistakes. Do you think you'll ever forgive yourself? I don't know. Maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is learning to live with the consequences and still try to do good in the world. I run into David, photographer David, at a coffee shop downtown. He doesn't recognize me at first, then his eyes widen. Sarah! Wow, you look different. I do look different. Thinner, older, carrying visible weight I didn't have before. How's your fiancé? Marcus? Martin? Michael, we broke up. Oh, sorry to hear that. But he doesn't look sorry. He looks interested. Maybe we could grab dinner sometime? Catch up? The suggestion makes me nauseous. This man was part of my destruction, part of the reason I lost everything that mattered. I don't think that's a good idea. Come on, we had fun before. That wasn't fun. That was me destroying my life, and you were just along for the ride. His face darkens. You seemed to enjoy it at the time. I was lost, and you took advantage of that instead of encouraging me to work on my relationship. I wasn't your therapist, Sarah. I was just a guy having a good time with a willing woman. He's not wrong, but his callousness still shocks me. Walking away from him, I understand something new about my behavior. I chose men who would make it easy to betray Michael, men who had no investment in my integrity. That night, I write letters I'll never send. One to Michael, apologizing again for everything I stole from him. One to his parents, explaining that their anger toward me is justified. One to myself, trying to forgive the woman who made such devastating choices. The letter to Michael is the hardest. I know you'll never read this, and that's probably for the best. I just need to put these words somewhere. I'm sorry I took your trust and used it as a weapon against you. I'm sorry I made you question whether love is real, whether people can be trusted. You deserved so much better than what I gave you. I hope Claire loves you the way you deserve to be loved. I hope you found peace with what happened between us. I hope you know that none of it was about you not being enough. It was about me being broken in ways I didn't understand. I'm trying to be better now. Not for you, because I lost the right to do anything for you, but for the world, so maybe I can prevent other people from making my mistakes. I loved you. I know that's hard to believe given what I did, but I did love you. I just didn't know how to love without destroying things. I'm learning now. I fold the letter and put it in my desk drawer with the others. Someday maybe I'll burn them all. For now, they're proof that I remember what I lost and why I can never let myself forget. Moving into my own apartment feels like a milestone. It's small, nothing fancy, but it's mine. I'm building something stable, something honest. It's not the life I planned, but it's a life I can live with. And that's more than I thought I deserved 6 months ago. A year after my confession, I'm sitting across from my mother in her kitchen, having the hardest conversation of my life. I need to understand, Mom says, her voice careful. Help me understand why you did what you did. I felt trapped, like I was suffocating in the life everyone expected me to live. The life I expected you to live, she says quietly. Mom, no, let me say this. Your father and I were so strict when you were growing up. Maybe too strict. You never got to rebel, never got to make mistakes and learn from them safely. That's not your fault. I made my own choices. But maybe those choices came from never feeling like you had choices before. She reaches across the table, takes my hand. I'm not excusing what you did to Michael. That was wrong, and you know it. But I wonder if we failed you somehow. The conversation is painful but necessary. We both cry, we both apologize, we both commit to being more honest with each other going forward. My relationship with my father takes longer to repair. He doesn't understand what I did, can't fathom betraying someone you love. Michael was a good man, he says during one of our stilted phone calls. I know he was, Dad. That's what makes this so hard to live with. Then why? It's the question everyone asks, and I still don't have an answer that makes sense to anyone, including myself. Daniel enters my life quietly through the volunteer work at the shelter. He's a counselor there, someone who's worked with broken people for years. You're good at this, he tells me after I lead a particularly difficult group session. You should consider going back to school. For what? Social work? Why not? You have the experience, the empathy. You understand what it's like to hit rock bottom. The idea takes root. Graduate school would be a chance to turn my mistakes into something meaningful, to help other women avoid the path I took. When I tell Daniel about my history, he doesn't flinch. We all have things we're ashamed of, he says. The question is what we do with that shame. Doesn't it bother you that I'm the kind of person who could do what I did? You're also the kind of person who confessed when you could have kept lying, who left everything familiar to rebuild your life, who spends her free time helping other women heal. He smiles. People are complicated, Sarah. I'd rather be with someone who's faced their darkness than someone who pretends they don't have any. Our relationship is different from what I had with Michael, built on complete honesty instead of the perfect image I tried to maintain before. Daniel knows all my flaws, all my mistakes, and chooses to love me anyway. I'm never getting married, I tell him one evening as we walk through the park. Why? Because I proved I can't be trusted with that kind of commitment. You proved you couldn't be trusted then. That doesn't mean you can't be trusted now. How can you be sure? Because you've done the work. You've faced what you did, accepted responsibility, changed your life. The woman who cheated on Michael doesn't exist anymore. I want to believe him, but trust is fragile when you've broken it so completely. Through social media, which I check rarely now, I learn that Michael is engaged to Claire. The news hits me like a physical blow, but underneath the pain is genuine happiness for him. He deserves this. He deserves someone who will honor their promises to him. Are you okay? Daniel asks, finding me crying over my laptop. Michael's getting married. And how do you feel about that? Sad for what I lost, happy that he found it again with someone better. Better how? Better at loving him, better at commitment, better at not destroying good things. Or maybe just better at being honest about her struggles before they became destructive. The difference matters. Claire isn't inherently better than me. She's just where I should have been emotionally when I met Michael. Dr. Patricia and I have our final session before I start graduate school. What's the most important thing you've learned? She asks. That freedom isn't about escaping commitment. It's about choosing your commitments consciously and honoring them fully. And what about forgiveness? I'm still working on that. Maybe I always will be. That's okay. Self-forgiveness isn't a destination, it's a practice. As I prepare to move to Seattle for graduate school, I make one final visit to the places Michael and I used to go together. Not seeking closure, I've learned that closure comes from within, not from places, but acknowledging the good memories alongside the pain. Our old apartment building, the park where we walked every Sunday, the restaurant where he proposed, each place holds joy and sorrow in equal measure. At the restaurant, I order what we used to share, the chocolate soufflé that took 20 minutes to prepare. As I wait, I think about the woman I was when Michael knelt beside this table and asked me to marry him. She was scared of losing herself in love, scared of becoming ordinary, scared of missing out on some mythical, better life, so scared that she destroyed the extraordinary love she had for fear it wasn't enough. I understand her now, that frightened woman. I forgive her, even as I refuse to excuse what she did. My phone buzzes with a text from Daniel. Safe travels tomorrow. Can't wait to see what amazing things you do in graduate school. Another text from Janet. Proud of you for chasing your dreams. Another from Tom. Recovery isn't linear. Be patient with yourself. I'm surrounded by people who know my history and love me anyway. It's a different kind of love than what I had with Michael. Harder earned, less innocent, but no less real. As I pack my things that night, I come across the letters I wrote but never sent. Letters to Michael, to his parents, to myself. I read them one more time, then carry them to the fireplace. The flames consume my words, turning regret and longing into ash and smoke. But the lessons remain, embedded in who I've become. I'm not the same woman who destroyed her life for the illusion of freedom. I'm not the woman who lied to the man she loved for months. I'm not the woman who chose chaos over commitment. But I'm also not the woman I was before any of this happened. I'm something new, something forged in the fire of consequence and shaped by the long work of rebuilding. Tomorrow I start graduate school. In 2 years, I'll be a licensed social worker, helping women who are where I was. Some of them will listen. Some of them won't. Some will change their lives before it's too late. Others will have to learn the hard way, like I did. But every woman I help will be proof that my mistakes weren't meaningless, that destruction can be transformed into construction, that guilt can become purpose, that even the worst choices can eventually serve the light. I pack my last box and turn off the lights in my apartment. In the darkness, I whisper a prayer I've been practicing for months. Thank you for the love I had, even though I destroyed it. Thank you for the pain that taught me how precious love is. Thank you for the chance to become someone worthy of love again. Michael is getting married next month. I'll be in Seattle, starting my new life, building toward a future where I can love someone without destroying them or myself. It's not the ending I planned, but it's an ending I can live with. And sometimes, that's the best any of us can hope for.